back.
I went and took a weird tone turn.
Yeah. Gotta nail down. We still haven't quite nailed down the intro yet, but we're gonna get there one of these days.
I hope we adapt from creepy grunts.
Maybe we'll get like a tune.
Maybe we'll just King of the Hill it. We'll just be like, yep. And then you can get your
Crack cans of root beer.
good old A&W.
Man, root beer I love switching up to root beer once in a while.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite sodas.
But it's like you can only take it in small doses. I don't know of a lot of people that always have root beer, but there's times where like Coke, Mountain Dew, and if you're a Pepsi person, Pepsi, where historically people keep that stuff in the refrigerator like all the time. Yeah. Root beer, like once I get my root beer fix, I'm good for a while.
I could solely drink root beer until the day I die, which would be very quickly because I'd only be drinking root beer.
So that's funny you mentioned
Shane
that.
drinks a lot of root beer.
Yeah, I usually buy Sprecker's root beer and drink because that's the good bottled stuff with the real Wisconsin honey in it. Fresh from Wisconsin.
We got a connoisseur here.
That's right.
My high school graduation, there's a local place around here called Dog and Suds. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Oh yeah,
Grand Haven Road.
Yeah.
Yep.
They rent out half kegs of their root beer, and that's what I had supplied for beverages for my high school graduation.
I'd be afraid that would go flat before you put a dent in it.
Surprisingly, a lot of people drank the shit out of it. We had 2 gallons left when the party was done.
Beer?
Yeah.
It's a garnish.
You don't?
It's fair.
It's a garnish. I mean.
But yeah, we had 2 gallons left over after the party was done. We put them in like emptied, washed out milk cartons, and they were fine for like a couple of days after that. Yeah.
Did you just say empty, washed out milk cartons?
Yeah, like the gallon of milk jugs.
Okay, jugs.
Yeah.
Okay, not a carton.
Not carton. Sorry. Jug.
I was like, did you transport back to 1950? That's what's going on.
Oh yeah, now you mention it, are milk cartons a thing anymore?
They are still technically.
The cardboard where you do the little trick where you squeeze out and then back or in
it's
and
still
back out.
prevalent in elementary school lunches.
I could see that.
A lot of the plant or not dairy milks are still in cartons.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I never thought of that because
just because it's easier
off the hip, I'm like, do they still make those?
Yeah.
Because we only get the plastic jugs of milk.
Right.
Just like they still make that square pizza, baby.
So,
square pizza.
No, right? I know.
Oh God,
That's a guilty pleasure. It really is.
And
I wonder
nacho,
if that's just a thing here or universally everyone has enjoyed square
I don't
pizza
know. I've heard
in
people
elementary
from
school.
I've heard people from other states like brag about school
I will
pizza
say,
like that.
I feel like once you get into high school, it turns to circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that a thing?
Yep.
Did I just...
No, I co-sign. That happened to me. So
I miss that, and I low-key kind of miss that like nacho cheese that you got in elementary school that you were pretty sure is radioactive because it could probably glow in the dark. It was so yellow.
Not gonna lie,
a horror story. I just thought of this when I was I had to have been like 12 years old, maybe. I you know how expensive like an orthodontist is, right?
Yeah.
Like with the retainer and all that. I'll never forget this. I set my retainer on my lunch tray and threw it away.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had to come back to the school, my mom and I, with the help of an elementary lady or like maybe it was a lunch lady. There was a couple people helping. We had to go through all of the garbage to find my retainer.
Oh no.
Did you put it directly back in?
Got it.
Wash it off in a carton.
I found it, you guys.
Oh, there's a piece of lettuce. Sorry.
Some lettuce on it.
All you had to do was wash it off in a carton of chocolate milk.
That was ironically in there as well.
Yeah.
But Gingy, what you got for us today?
Show us what you got.
In true Gingy fashion, I start with a question.
Okay, here we go.
Only quick answers.
Buckle up.
Have you ever done anything stupid while you were drunk?
Yes. Yes.
So
Think about that.
this one time in elementary school, I left my retainer. I was shit faced. Okay, repeat the question.
Have you ever done anything like really stupid while you were drunk? Yes.
Us here at Half
The
Cent
answer-
Table Talk do
I
not
said quick
condone
answers
drink
only
drinking.
because the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm sure that there's some like really wild shit that some of us have done while drunk. I don't believe that it could be on the same level as this dude, who
I wanted to read your
I know.
cheat on your. Like, what do you do?
this dude in Turkey, the
Okay.
place,
Okay.
went out drinking
That
with
just
his
sounds
friends.
creepy when you say it like that. He's in Turkey, and I mean the place.
Don't kink shame.
Unless it's your kink.
So this dude, and I'm gonna butcher this, Beyhan Mutlu, 51 years old, went out drinking with his friend in a forest, and
That's some stuff you do in high school. Like,
right, not when you're 50.
You guys want to go out in this 2-track and get shit faced off some Zima and vodka I got out of my parents'?
I stole my mom's whole pack of Misty Cools.
So he went drinking with his friend in the forest, and his wife ended up reporting him missing after he didn't come home and heard that he had walked away from his friend drunk in the woods.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And so rescue teams went out into the woods and started like yelling his name and looking for him in
Mhm.
like true like search party fashion.
Into the thick of it.
And the dude who went missing ended up coming across some of the search party members and helped them find him.
Wait a minute. He said, wait, who are you looking for? We're looking for this guy. Well, shit, man, let's go find him. I'll help you out. Was he still shit-faced?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to find him, like, being, like, in a wolf's den or something where he saw warmed through.
He said, this is my new
No,
mom. This is my-
joined his own search party.
So
Wow.
joins his own search party, realized that he was the focus of the search, and then when they began calling like his name in front of him, and after a while they said that they were looking for whatever his name is, Beyhan,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, I broke into a cold sweat when I heard my name, and I told them that that's me, but they continued to search because they didn't believe him. And eventually, his friend that he got drunk with in the woods saw him looking for himself. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Everybody stop. This is him.
So now that I have the context of the story, I feel like we can whittle this down to drunk in the woods experiences.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
for me, I feel like are exclusive to high school because
Speak for yourself.
okay, so I'll never
Drank in the woods
the very first thing I could think of where I was upset was a friend of mine. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing about this already. So I lived near some, the property we lived on, we had acreage there. And all of my friends used to, we had this part back in the woods where there was this big open field and we used to all camp up there and we used to do like, I was grandfathered into the perfect situation for a high school kid because I didn't have to like travel. I was literally in my backyard. So my friends would come and we'd go camping and they would park at my house and it was literally on our property. So on the way to this field, there was a part where there was a couple of railroad ties near each other. You'd have to like shimmy across with your feet to get across the river to then get to the field, which was probably 50 yards away at that point. So one of the said evenings, my best friend, for whatever reason, in the middle of the night, now I had gone home and gone to bed because I had the luxury of being able to do that. I didn't have to sleep in a tent. So I just got to sleep in my own bed. So the night winds down, there's a campfire, etc. I leave and go home. At some point, reasons unknown, my best friend, he was one of those people that like his fun meter, like he couldn't shut it down like once he hit a certain point in high school. So I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I hear doo, 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 doo on my window. And sit up and I look out the window and I'm like, what do you want? It's my buddy. And he's like, I fell in the river. And I'm like, okay. And he said, can I borrow some clothes? So why did you cross to then fall in the river to come here? Like, where were you going? Like, I didn't understand because those two things don't come before one another. They're like, they didn't math out. Yeah. So I hooked him up. I grabbed, at the time, you know, when you're in high school, you have a pair of shoes typically. Right. At least I did. I wasn't a kid that had the luxury of having like, I just did. You had one pair of shoes that you tried to keep nice for a long time. You get them at like school shopping. Yep. It's not like my parents ever hooked me up with multiple pairs of shoes or anything. I just like, I would whine and cry like for a pair of Jordans or something. These were Bo Jacksons.
I've never heard of that.
Oh gosh, I feel so old. So Bo Jackson was much like Deion Sanders. He was a two-sport athlete where he played pro football and pro baseball.
Okay.
And he was Nike had this movement called Bo Knows, and it would be Bo Knows, and you just insert into marketing. And
that was early 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Probably. Yeah, this is early 90s. So Bo Jacksons were comparable to a pair of Jordans at the time, if that gives you some context.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I had a brand new pair of Bo Jacksons that I got for my birthday. And that's all, the only pair of shoes I had. So I was like, here's my Bo Jacksons and a change of clothes. I go back to bed. Next day, my friends are like, they're coming back to their cars and they're like, have you talked to Rob yet? And I was like, no, what's up? You know, I'm outside barefoot. And they're just like, so on his way back, he fell back into the river.
Oh, God. Oh, with your Bo Jackson.
With my Bo Jacksons on. To get back to the tent, he took them off and set them next to the fire to dry.
Oh.
And he melted them.
Oh, my
God. Yeah. Yeah. I was pretty, in high school, yeah, I think like that was my most prized possession. You know what I mean? Those Bo Jacksons were like, Mom, this is all I want. You don't have to, like where you had to like really sell her on the fact that this was a smart decision to spend that kind of money on.
You want to know what shoes I wore in high school? I was on an indoor soccer league, and I wore my shoes for that everywhere. I had one pair of shoes that served so many purposes.
I just rocked Airwalks. That's all I ever wore. I was
in a skateboard phase where I wore Airwalks.
I didn't even skateboard though. I hacked with them. I was a hacky sack guy. So like Airwalks were the best for like, hitting on the tip of your foot and stuff like that.
I did that in indoor soccer shoes.
Also had a phase where I wore Converse All-Stars quite often. I had they were really cheap. So that was the first time I'd ever had multiple pairs of shoes because like I had black and orange and blue ones and they're really cheap. They're like, it was like buying a t-shirt.
Right. That's actually my thing now is high top Converse. I have 4 pairs of them now. I love them.
I go through shoes like water, so I don't bother buying expensive shoes. I always have.
That's fair.
It's just
I honestly forget what we were talking about.
I segued off the guy finding the buddy pointed out that.
Oh right, you were telling a story of what you did stupid when you were drunk
in the woods.
Like most listeners
So that's the conclusion of the wood story, correct?
Right, the shoes. No, he ended up searching for himself for over a half an hour. He was helping the search party find him for a half an hour.
That's one of the best drunk stories ever. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
My best one is I fell out of a treehouse. It was like 20 feet up a tree, and I don't remember who I was drinking with. I don't remember where it was, but I do remember.
How do you forget the location of a tree house that you were partying at? I feel like that'd be memorable.
Because I was drunk. I was really drunk.
I think my
drunk enough to fall out of it.
Like now I feel like you were blindfolded and brought there, got hammered, and then you were blindfolded and brought.
I think my best drunk accomplishment ever is being drunk at a football game for like I think it was in Whitehall for some reason, and I was at a football game and somebody was like, "Hey, that's that dude that hit on our sister. Chuck this candy bar at his head like 40, 50 yards away." I literally threw it straight up and the sumbitch landed on the very top of his head. I was so proud. And that's my greatest drunk moment.
That actually reminds me of a not drunk moment. Also in high school though, there was one time I was over at my grandma's house and I kicked my shoes off down the stairs. You know, like when you're young, and when I stayed at her house, I used to stay down. She had like a basement that was done with a bed and everything. I used to stay when you stay at grandma's. That was where I would go. And one time, I come to grandma's, get in the front door, and I went to kick my shoes off, and I kicked them down the stairs. And at the bottom, there was a door that went outside. I kicked, and I obviously going to repeat this again, but my shoe flew off and landed perfectly on the handle downstairs.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're like, I could never do that again in a million years.
Young Tony's just sitting there like, holy shit, I'm fucking Spider-Man.
No, he's like, I am Hawkeye.
So yeah, that's pretty funny because I just took 10 walks down memory lane during this conversation. So yeah, search party for yourself. I gotta say, I can't imagine. I feel like any funny drunk stories are way far behind me. I don't imagine I'll ever have another funny memory tied to drinking.
Right.
It's all downhill from here, y'all.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of well.
At our respective ages, like going out and having drunk adventures isn't really like a thing we do.
It's not on the table, really.
Well, in all fairness, too, I did drink in high school at one point, but like I was pretty like kind of a goody two shoes, which doesn't surprise me. That's where I ended up being like in adulthood, but I didn't beyond that, like never had many experiences beyond that as far as anything we might be thinking of. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you know. I did love Metallica though. So you would think, but
Not gonna lie, I've done some fucking
I was
wild
scared
shit.
of all that. I was scared of all that. It wasn't until like my early 20s where I was less fearful of like being around stuff like that. It's like, I guess there was this thing where all of the say no to drug stuff must have really worked on me, where I was.
All I can think of right now is Family Guy. I don't know, man. Did a lot of drugs. Married a gal named Cher. I wouldn't recommend either one of them.
All right, guys. Well, this was a funny walk down memory lane. Now I feel like I could just keep going and talk about all kinds of.
Later, I'll tell you about the time me and my friends went tubing in the middle of September.
Oh, tubing.
And almost died of hypothermia.
I want to hear that story. Yeah. Okay, we'll save that for another one. But until then, we will see you guys in the next vidya. Love your faces. Okay, bye.
Bye.